Hello everybody, welcome back to Beyond the Veil Tarot and Astrology. My name is Candace Marie. Thank you for joining me. It is Saturday night, which means it is time for our live reading on the channel. This week we are going to be doing tarot readings. So thank you guys for tuning in and spending your Saturday with me. Super stoked to be back. Those of you guys who are new to my channel, make sure you hit the bell button so you can be subscribed to my channel and you get alerts as to when we go live for these readings. Generally, every Friday or Saturday is what we've been doing, but I kind of like the Saturday night crew, so let me know if Saturday is working better for you. I am a Western evolutionary astrologer and also a tarot reader and a teacher of metaphysics and esoteric stuff for the better part of the last 7 or 8 years, but I've been studying tarot for about 15. So I'm super stoked to be able to show my skills and give small, short, and to the point interpretive readings live on my channel to teach people more about astrology or tarot, or maybe if you would like to get a quick question in or just learn more about my reading style. Those of you guys who are subscribers, thank you so much for making this channel possible. Your subscriptions allow me to continue to do research and create other content for you. So people like Nancy, Andrew, Catherine Murray, Jen Rich, Phoenix, Jessica Martinez, Angeli, Emma, and Susan Wexler, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Equally, that is the benefit of being able to be a level 3 subscriber. You're going to be guaranteed to get a reading with me once a month, whether it's one question regarding astrology or a 3-card spread for tarot, and you are going to be the first on my list. So those of you guys who are a level 3, like Nancy, Sam, Catherine, Phoenix, Jessica, Angeli, thank you guys. And if you guys would like to get your reading to start the month off, we are a fresh new month. This is actually the first live that we're doing for December. So let me know and I will get you into the queue. We do have a person or two who has already pre-purchased readings. If you want to subscribe, please consider it. If not, you're welcome to stay, hang out, and see what we've got going on with this live public reading forum. If you see up here, I've got a QR code. So if you are on an iPad or if you're on a laptop, you can screenshot this or run your camera over it. And that's how you're going to make donations to get into the queue. $40 for 3 cards, any question you would like, or $20 for 1. And if you do make a purchase, just let me know. Sometimes your name differs on YouTube versus how it comes through PayPal. And please be patient. We're going to go through everybody in the order that they purchased. So just stay tuned. We'll make sure that we let everybody know when we've gotten the payment, and then we'll get your reading and we'll get into it. You're more than welcome when you do make the purchase on PayPal. There is a little memo box so you can let me know your birthday, or you can let me know your full name, your question, anything like that. That will give me more insight into the reading. Hello, everybody in the chat. Hey, Angeli. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I see you there. I am more than happy to read for you. I will do that. Let me know what your question is. People are like, here's my birthday. Astrology's next week. I will be with you guys next week. Don't worry. I have to break it up a little bit. I feel like, you know, we gotta kind of hone in on both of them separately. As much as I'd love to be able to do both at the same time, I think you would just see me go cross-eyed on the internet. Nobody wants to see that. So Angeli, let me know your question, and then we can go ahead and get started. Obviously, we appreciate it. Donations are always welcome. Also, you make it possible for this channel to keep doing its thing. One of these days. Don't worry, we'll get you soon. Get you soon. Yeah, the Saturday night crowd tends to be a little different. You guys are a little bit more lively. I feel like maybe Friday people are still like trying to get home, or they're just recovering from the week, you know, but Saturday people are like, yeah, tell me my future. You guys are really into it. All right, so let's pull Angeli's question. Oh, I see it now. Thank you. Tell me about a relationship with my crush. If anything comes up about my studies, great. I have an exam on Monday. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. All right, Angeli, so focus on your question regarding your crush, and or if anything else pertaining to studies or school comes up for you as well. And those of you guys who are in the chat, let me know, how are you doing coming off of the heels of this eclipse? Really, really early this morning, late last night, we had eclipses, at least here in the States, And like, oh my gosh, the energy is kind of funky. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I have a lot of midpoints in Sag. No worries. Sometimes you get lucky and there are people who will donate readings. It has been known to happen from time to time. That is the benefit of being a regular subscriber and watcher. Sometimes you'll get people who are very generous. All right, Angeli, this is more about the relationship stuff or the possibility of like what's going on in terms of romantic connections, right? So because the period for me is in the 6th to the 5th every month. Oh, no worries. Not due for a reading until after the 6th. Just so you know, it's monthly. So if you are a subscriber, once that, well, as long as you're subscribed, you're going to get one for the month. So I appreciate the purchase, but if you want, you're going to still be able to come back at some point this month and like, you may need it. You never know. So one thing I would say, Angeli, is this is, it's like, 6 of Cups reversed, the Death card, the Page of Cups reversed. I feel like this is the epitome of what a lot of people are going to be feeling and experiencing in the midst of the transits of the next month or two. Because there's a lot of reconnection energy, soulmate energy. Is this person coming back energy? Am I going to see them again? Are they going to call me back? Are they going to text me back? And or a lot of rehashing the past, right? So there's some aspect of reevaluating the past and kind of going like, do I want to go back there? Am I overly idealizing that connection? Is there something really sweet and memorable about that person? But is there something that I'm like missing? Sometimes 6 of Cups reverse can also represent like, you know, we've all had like that one memory, or we've all had like that one, maybe like that relationship that we try to convince ourselves that's like, oh, but it was love and it wasn't so bad and it was great and it was really good, and like, oh, if I could just go back then. And I would say it's more so kind of focusing on less about a union or a reconnection or whether or not they're going to come back, more about a feeling, and really looking at this connection with a lot more you know, or a lot better perspective. So in the guides of like your crush, it's like, okay, think about the last couple interactions you had with him. Was it fulfilling? Did it leave you wanting more, and not in a good way? In a way where you're like, oh, is this, you know, being reciprocated? Do they feel the same way about me? Are they as gaga about me as I am about them? Did they even make an effort to get back to me? Are they being responsive? Are they being warm? Or am I fooling myself, and is there some sense of me seeing what I want to see? Because perception's a huge theme, right? This is a card that deals with planets that are in like mid-range of Scorpio. So I think Mars has been there recently. This is a planet, this is a planet. This is a card that deals with Pluto and Mars and Scorpio themes, which is about transformation. And then Page of Cups reversed, like when we're on the guise of talking about men, right? Not women, just men. If you're a woman asking me a question about a man and I pull a page that's reversed, I'm going to be like, listen, is this really what you think it is? Or is this person just kind of playing with your emotions, playing with your heart? It's not a matter of whether or not there's sexual attraction. That's there. There's not a matter of whether or not he wants to get together and see you. That's there. There's a question of me kind of looking at this going like, it's less about him. It's more about you getting super hyper aware of whether or not the people who you're connecting with are repeating the same patterns, the same karmic patterns. It's like sometimes when we're going through like the dating cycle, we'll notice that we'll go from like another person to another person to another person. It's like similar personalities or similar challenges or similar lessons, just with different people, until we snap out of it, break the pattern, realize what it is that we need, especially under the guise of like sex, security, stability, psychological connection. I look at the 6 of Cups and the Page of Cups reversed as like, well, is this a situation where you're overly kind of putting him like on this pedestal and seeing him from somebody that he may not be? And is it really giving you security, or is this false security, right? And really look back more at what he shared with you emotionally, less about his body language, less about what happened physically, more about the emotions. Look at all this water here. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of psychic connection. There's a lot of like a feeling or an intuition that maybe he's afraid, and I kind of, you know, throw him off a little bit, and he's going to come back around, and, you know, maybe something's going to happen. But that Death card in the Page of Cups reverse is like something that is leaving you wanting more. It's feeling emotionally unfulfilling, or it's that connection where you go out, you reconnect, you have drinks, he gets kind of messy, maybe you guys hook up, and then it's just a situation where you're like, okay, but where's the feelings, right? It's to me, and this is coming from a Scorpio, it's like men find love through sex, women find sex through love. So women, you know, will kind of connect physically, and then all the feelings come out. So something about this is discombobulated, where there's some sense of like you wanting to connect and then wanting to kind of divulge all of your emotions and your feelings. And him like not really knowing if he's ready to merge. Page of Cups reverse, when you're asking a question about a man, is point blank, like that can be fuckboy energy, okay? And it can be somebody who's really playful and romantic and fun, but it's immature because it's a page. So part of what I kind of look at is scrap everything in regards to his actions. Look at how, number one, he makes you feel. Is he making you doubt your feelings? Is there a sense of him not sharing anything with you emotionally? Is he not showing up the way that he needs to show? Like, what's going on here? What's the problem? What is he afraid of? What is not being let go, or what's not being kind of like shaken loose, right? That's the feeling that I get, because the Death card wants to kind of flip the status quo on its head and create change and transformation so you can merge and go closer together. And to me, this is making me wonder, like, is there a lack of him coming through emotionally? Does he need drugs or alcohol to lubricate the process of telling you how he feels, or going out on a date, or are you just like hooking up and drinking? Like, what's happened here, right? The other thing is that the Death card is generally an omen of change, transformation that is necessary for evolution to take place. We are seeing that Mars is getting ready in the next month to cross the eclipse degrees, especially at the end of the year. So a really interesting thing for you guys to take a look at, everybody, is what's happening literally on the new year. It's not so much about your New Year's resolutions, because the truth is that if you want to set New Year's resolutions, now is the time to do it, tonight. I've been instructing a lot of my clients and a lot of people, use the energy of the eclipse to set the intentions for where you're going. So that way, when Mars crosses these degrees, literally on the 31st of December and the 1st of January, we're already used to that routine, right? We're not going to fall into the old patterns of, oh, I'm going to join the gym and then we flop, or I'm going to, make the commitment to starting this new life change and then it doesn't happen. So this is saying the change that's going on is happening right now. And it's about breaking up old emotional patterns of just allowing soulmates into our life just because they're familiar, or allowing people to come around just because they feel comfortable, or allowing people in and out of your life just because there is this hope or something that you can hold on to that they're going to show up in a relationship sense. There's no doubt that there's soul connection here. And like, you've seen, you've heard my readings, like, I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, twin flame stuff. There are people for that. There's lots of them. I'm not one of those people. But there is a sense of him keep coming back because he realizes there's a very strong pull, but also with that strong pull, the fear and like the him kind of getting stunned with, okay, we can have sex, but what does it mean to go deeper? What does it mean to be vulnerable? What does it mean to talk about your feelings and actually show up and practice intimacy ways outside of the physical connection, right? So I kind of get the impression that like for the next 6 weeks, he's going to keep coming around, but the Death card with the Page of Cups is really kind of calling a spade, and maybe it's kind of going like, it's not really so much about just being that person who he texts when he's drinking or when he's in need of attention, because it seems like he's getting a pick-me-up from you, and he may be reaping the benefits of being in an emotional connection or an emotional relationship without you being committed, right? So there's something fucking going on here right now where it's like, I would say, cut that off, sever that, stop serving that juice to him. And if that means him physically showing up in person, physically coming to you, making plans, taking initiative, and you kind of being a little bit more like, I don't think you're ready for what I have to offer, send it back to the kitchen. This isn't bad because it means that you can flip this, you can flip these two cards around. It gives you the opportunity to check him a little bit and be like, no, I'm not just looking for somebody who's gonna, you know, like your selfies and kind of stroke your ego and like tell you that all these sweet things. You're looking for more. So there's a graduation coming on here, and a sense of you being able to graduate while maybe Mars is in Scorpio, planets have been in Scorpio, eclipses are coming in Scorpio. That's really setting you up to like move beyond just surface connections, right? So yeah, I have to continue cooking. Hello, Miss Fogel, nice to see you. Hey, Paula, what's going on? Let me know if you want your reading. One thing I wonder also is what sign is he? Because this is like Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces energy that's coming up. What sign is he? It opposes your Mars. Ah, so the eclipse or the Mars transit? Let me know. And he's super Taurus and moon in Scorpio. I mean, okay, I love a good full moon person because they're intense, but having like the sun in Taurus and the moon in Scorpio is like so incredibly fixated on their own sense of security and this unwillingness to almost like share and open up and evolve. Like the idea of being able to be emotionally vulnerable and not shit disturbing is it's unfathomable for them. Like they don't know how to do that. So there's something going on there. Yeah, and you're going to be attracted to it, but your Mars opposes his moon. So that's a challenge. It's like, get out of your comfort zone. Let's talk about things. Come over, right? It's really kind of putting the fire, Mars, moon, on the emotional connection. So I would say to you, like, especially if somebody's got a sun in Taurus and a moon in Scorpio, like that gives you the green light to be as fucking crazy and as erratic as you want. Like he's going to love that shit. Scorpio moons also have a tendency, as do 8th house moons or moon Pluto, they have a tendency to like that intensity or like the, I'm not going to say play mind games or play mental games, but Scorpio energy will throw you through a series of tests, right? Anybody who's been in a relationship with a Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising, you know that there's all these emotional hoops that you have to jump through to kind of prove yourself. So a Taurus sun, Scorpio moon is realizing that they can keep physically showing up, but it's not emotionally fulfilling. So it's going to throw them deeper into connections with other people, right? Yeah, perfect. You've been losing it. Awesome. Awesome. And if he is a Scorpio moon and a Taurus sun, there's a lot of activity going on, right? You hear the North Node's in Taurus. So I don't know his rising, but with the North Node being in Taurus and his sun's in Taurus and his moon's in the 7th house, there is a need to fully show up and be authentic in a relationship. You can't just show up and be like, oh, I'm going through all the physical moves and I have all this, that, and the other, because the South Node moving into Scorpio is telling me that emotionally, or in a sense of his connection with relationships or his domestic zone, something's lacking, right? Taurus, Venus, and Mercury too. Libra rising, oh girl. I mean, part of what's going on is then he's got Sun, Venus somewhere around his 8th house, if he's a Libra rising. The Venus retrograde is going through his 4th. Libra risings are kind of in their feelings right now because a lot of them are trying to figure out where they want to live, how they want to feel, what the future holds. A Libra rising really needs more time up until closer to about February, March, April before they emerge, and they're going to be much more capable of showing up in a relationship, right? Especially all that Taurus. He's kind of going through it. Many Taurus suns and Libra risings, depending if he's an 8th house placement, are going through situations where they're having to go through difficult, painful periods of letting go of the past. And there's somebody in their past that doesn't want to let them go, and they're still kind of dealing with that and reeling. And I've seen a lot of Libra risings, Taurus suns that are having other people or other people from the past coming back. So be careful with a Libra ruled chart or a Venus ruled chart because they're definitely kind of going through it. There is some sense of him coming back though, right? So, I mean, I think that he's still going to hang around, but I would be like, nope, come correct. If you're going to come in, you need to come correct. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Yeah, I know 2 or 3 people personally Libra rising, Taurus sun, and they're having weird three's a crowd scenarios and like not really knowing, because I mean, Libra risings, they've got Saturn in their 5th. So a lot of them have to show up. They have to be in love next year. They're getting ready to go into serious partnership, getting married, having kids. So like all of these things, they need to they need to grow the fuck up. Hopefully that's helpful. Send him this link. Thanks. All right, Paula, you have a question? You let me know. I see you hanging out there. Hey, Kristen. Nice to see you. I see we've got Rachel Studebaker here too. Live reading, thank you. Relationship love reading. Let me know, Rachel, do you have any particular people, anything like that? Taurus Sun, Libra rising. Did you hear all of that, Rachel? Did you hear all Let's take a look. Libra rising. Where's your Venus? Where is your Venus? If there are Libra risings listening right now, one thing I would tell you guys is that you have to understand that there is like this, okay, Paula, no worries. Hold that till the end of the month when you need it with that full moon in Gemini. I do have a specific person in mind. Here's the thing. If you're a Libra rising or a Taurus rising, this Venus retrograde that's coming is a bit of a doozy for you, right? Taurus rising and Taurus placements are going to do a lot better than Libras, because Taurus, you know, you play nice with Capricorn. Libra doesn't. There's a square. So if you're a Libra rising with your chart ruler going retrograde in your 4th, there is a need for you to clear out the past, clear out your emotions, reflect on what's happened in the past, think about how you want to feel, where you want to live, all of these things. Realize that there's lots of openings that are going to happen for you end of January, going into February, when the planets are doing a little bit better. Also, Libra risings are going to do well with Jupiter in their 7th house. Those of you guys who are in partnerships and might get serious, you might talk about getting engaged. Those of you guys who are single, you might meet somebody extremely prominent between February and May of 2022. Okay? So let's take a look and see what Rachel needs to know in regards to her love life and this specific person that she has in mind. But she is a Venus in Gemini. Are you a 7th? Are you an 8th house or a 9th houser? Certainly Saturn in your 5th in a trine is really nice for you this year. There can just be love at a distance, love abroad, or in general, recently we had an eclipse and it was in opposition to your Venus. So it's like some kind of conversation about not meeting, like, you know, two perspectives, not seeing eye to eye is kind of the feeling that I'm getting, right? Libra risings are not fucking around this year and next year. That's something else that I will tell you. 9th house, nice. So one thing that I will say is, you know, really listen to what's going on with your ascendant horoscope. Having Saturn hanging out in your 5th house or moving into your 5th house talks about self-expression, joy, creativity, true love, long-lasting love, all of that stuff. Children, right? And I know this sounds crazy, but you got eclipses in your 8th house that are teaching you that you need to go deeper into intimacy and learning more about connection. Venus in the 9th can give people lots of space, so you can do long distance relationships, you can, you know, be in love with the mind, you know, love travel, all that fun stuff. Part of what's coming up for you is the Queen of Pentacles reversed, of this feeling that's like, I don't feel supported, or almost in a way like kind of getting cold on somebody, or feeling as if like you're starting to lose a sense of wanting to put emphasis or value or time or energy or money. Like, she's a bad bitch. She's somebody who's not going to do anything unless there's going to be a return or a result. So time is money, feelings and investment is money, physical involvement, all of that stuff. It all is earthly things. So when Queen of Pentacles comes up reversed, it's you kind of going, I'm concerned I'm not going to be able to hold on to this, or I'm concerned that it's going to be a situation that may not pay out in the long run. Let me know if this is how you've been feeling, or if you're having doubts revolving around like long-term commitments to a particular person, or maybe not feeling valued. That can be something else that's going on. I could definitely see for, you know, a Gemini Venus and this particular Venus retrograde that it's in conjuncting and quincunxing, you know, your natal Gemini stuff. So it's like this reoccurring theme of the bigger picture is where I'm going, not where I've been. and not repeating patterns. And the Queen of Pentacles can be focused on health, money, business, partnership, but from a physical standpoint. So she can be starting to think about more kind of longer term, mature planning when it comes to relationships and, you know, merging with another person, especially because the 10 of Coins is coming up. So this does talk about wealth, long-term family planning, you know, going the distance. Like in this particular card, you see like the dogs are playing, you know, the two people are happy, there's all this money and abundance and all of these things around them, and you see like this, almost like this castle that's around them, that's protecting them, and it's going to be something that's going to stand the test of time. So this is also referencing Libra rising, Capricorn 4th house. I want a family structure that's going to stick. I want a home that's going to last. I want a relationship that's going to go the distance. So even having that Venus in the 9th house, you are somebody who is very, very, very focused on long-term planning, tradition, financial security. So your mind right now is on kind of like, where am I going, right? And this isn't an age thing, because I don't know how old you are. It's more a Libra rising thing. The last year or so, Libra risings really started coming into their power after about 2 or 3 years of getting their butts kicked with the cardinal squares in recent years. So you've gone through a lot of this already. Like, you already know what you're looking for. Maybe you're afraid of coming on too strong or being expecting too much, but I kind of feel like of all of zodiac this year, Libra rising is really kind of showing up and kind of going, I don't want to wait anymore. This is my plan. Do you want to meet me and do this dance of life together and build this future, not just family-wise or relationship-wise, but financially, building businesses, acquiring wealth, investments, which is also such a big theme with eclipses in your 8th house. Then we have the Hangman, which is in a way a message from the universe, and also it can be talking about Pisces season or Neptune conjunctions. I think about what's happening, you know, for Libra risings. We see Venus and a bunch of conjunctions that are going to happen with Neptune and Jupiter in the spring, which is almost like right when you really come into a sense of being hyper-focused with your routine and your health and your wellness, and how you're really kind of making sure that you're living your life in a state of meditation and manifestation and clarity for your vision, that comes in. There's also something going here that's saying like there is some need for introspection or reflecting or meditating on and making sure that your vision is coming to reality. I think I'm nervous about moving too fast, but I'm also ready to lock it down. It depends on your annual perfection year. So I'm wondering, like, you know, how old you are. If you want to tell me your age, that is helpful. But, you know, if you're a Libra rising, the Venus retrograde can be like, okay, how am I now adjusting to now being in a relationship? Or am I open to the idea of moving in with someone? Or can we talk about buying property? Or are we talking about having kids? Like, it's a good transit, to be honest with you. I just feel like this can be talking about the Pisces, and you're like, okay, but is he actually going to stay? Or is he financially reliable? Or am I investing too much into this? Like, the truth will come out when planets start to segue into Pisces. Like, that's going to be very clear. And I think if you are somebody who has, I think, any kind of Gemini in your chart, the squares are also going to represent, you know, whether or not the relationship is working together, or if it's not going to, you know, stick, and if it's going to fall apart. Personally, I think that the Hangman is upright. So it's kind of like, it could be that a Pisces is saying to you, like, I see our lives together, and I see myself marrying you, and I want to be with you forever, and blah, 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 blah. Like, he's saying all of the things, but I'm wondering, what's the hang up with the physicality of it? Like, is there some doubt revolving around, you know, where you guys are at financially? Is there some doubt revolving around issues with family? Do you guys have two different perspectives on where you see your lives going? You know, you can commit and not settle down. People have this like misconception that, you know, getting married or like whatever means you settle down. You can lock it down without settling down. And that's, I think, what's kind of coming up here, is realizing that part of the process of like actually growing and building all of this doesn't mean that you're sacrificing everything and that you're losing everything or that you're losing your freedom. It means that what you have to gain, especially with the eclipses that are happening in your 8th, is this building of sexual, financial, spiritual kind of growth, right? And allowing somebody to kind of come in and hold space for when you go through transformation and change. But if you're feeling like, well, I need to reflect on this a little bit more, pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to your intuition. Realize that he has a vision, he has a plan. And like Pisces men can be awesome partners. Like, you know, they're a water sign. So it does give you the opportunity to also maybe allow him to be of service, especially because that's your 6th house. So there can be some sense of him helping you with, you know, chores around the house, or helping you with a pet, or helping you with work, or he wants to help you. He wants to assist you because his sun is in your 6th. So there can also be this sense of you questioning, okay, well, is it too good to be true? My advice is give it 10 weeks. Okay, so that's really landing right about mid-March. It's also realizing that there needs to be a structured plan, and it's more than just what you're imagining. You need to see these things physically kind of show up and going according to plan in the new year. But because you are in a Venus retrograde here pretty soon, I would say watch for those conjunctions to Pluto that's happening. That's going to bring about lots of issues revolving around resources, security, and undoing old emotional patterns, or issues that may be ancestral patterns as well. Oh, so I mean, if his sun's on your North Node, then he's helping teach you more about that stuff. So that's also really great. And Jupiter's going to go there next year. So I think that it's about allowing him to help you. I like that he's got planets in Pisces because it's going to sextile also the Uranus transit in your 8th. So when you're like, well, how can I make changes and, you know, like make changes in my career or live with somebody? He'll be like, let me show you, let me help you. And he'll help you kind of come more so into learning more about intimacy and being vulnerable, right? Pisces North Node. Vulnerability, self-sacrifice, and not being so hypercritical, believing in the dream. So as long as there's some kind of groundedness to it, I think it's positive, and it looks pretty good. You'll have to let me know how it pans out. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Those of you guys who are just tuning in, we're doing live readings. Check out the QR code above. We're doing 3 cards for 40, 1 for 20. Ask whatever you would like. However, we are reading them live, obviously, on the internet. So if you're a little weird about the question, you can always send me that in the memo box of PayPal. And keep in mind that your name may be different than how it is on YouTube. So just let me know if there is a difference. Also, equally, if those of you guys who are members are tuning in, let me know, because that's the benefit of being a level 3. We can get your reading in for the month. Let me know, let me know. Awesome, we can definitely do that for you, Angeline. You're welcome, Rachel. Very exciting glow up period. Also, those of you guys who have questions or insights about how the eclipse is going to affect you, especially if you're a mutable sun, moon, or rising, or if you have a Gemini or a Sag rising, we can do that as well. Let me know. My neighbors were throwing a party. There's like a huge fiesta going on across the street, and kind of bummed out they did not invite us. But I was kind of like, how are we going to do the show? Because it's so loud, but it seems to have finally calmed down a little bit. Hello, hello. I think the Libra rising in me must have caught the vibe to log on. Such good info. I need to start a Libra rising support group. You know, we can help each other with like not entering into bad relationships or deciding where we're going to eat for each other, because we don't know how to do that either. Learning not to project things onto other people. Libra Rising Support Group live. If you guys want, also, I'll do a general reading for everybody too, because we're going to call last call in a little bit if we don't have anybody else who wants a reading. So I'll take the deck. Those of you guys who are watching and joining, pick a card reading. Basically, I'm going to put 3 different piles out and focus on the pile, and then think about your question. And then I will read it for you. So, card number 1. Okay, Okay, it will be this card. I guess it would need to stay there, huh? Card number 2. Last call for readings, guys. If you want to get a reading, let me know. Otherwise, we'll close this off with the pick a card reading. And this is card number 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. Meditate on that. Think about it. Think about your question. I kind of want to throw another one in there too. Clarifier. 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 Okay. This always gets colorful when there's more than one deck. I like those readings that you see where you've got people that are like, there's like 8 or 9 different decks in a spread going on. It's just wild. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. We have got deck or pile 1, 2, and 3. Think about your question. Those of you guys who picked deck number 1, we have the 2 of Swords. So perhaps maybe you're feeling a little torn. There is a sense of like difficulty making a decision. Libra risings maybe, or Libra placements, air placements, can be, you know, Geminis or Aquariuses. There's a lot of assessing information or going back and forth on something, and something that's creating a bit of like mental stress or worry. And it's almost as if like you're feeling like it's hard for you to choose, because you might be feeling like you're choosing like the lesser of two evils. It's like, well, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. Or the fear of making the wrong decision, right? That's something else that can kind of come up with this card. Now the clarifier is the Knight of Wands, which is action. It's basically saying, don't overthink, make a decision, take action. There may be events that happen that push you into this. Like Knight of Wands can be like, you know, a quick, passionate person, and a chance opportunity for creativity, a spark of something that comes in that you feel very enthusiastic about, kind of starting a project. It's like there's like a fire under your ass that's coming, that's going to get things moving and shaking. Equally, this can be a fire sign that comes into your life with news about something, about the need to make a decision or take action. So this can be an Aries, or this can be a Sag, or this can be a Leo, but air fuels fire. So in a way, it's like there are going to be a series of events that are going to be happening that's pushing you to make a choice, and you might feel uncomfortable because you're like, oh, I didn't get a chance to think it through, but it's like things are moving and shaking and giving you the opportunity to maybe go on a trip and make a decision, increments of 2 hours, 2 days, 2 whatever. There's something going on here that's kind of insinuating it's all about the action. Don't overthink things. Follow your passion, okay? For deck number 2, we have the Four of Swords. Reflecting, resting, recuperating, letting a situation lie. This can also be feeling like lower energy levels, or feeling like there's a need to kind of let something be right now, to not be messing with it, or a sense of exhaustion, like mental exhaustion, and needing to take a step back and like not pushing yourself too hard. Four of Swords can also be a card that is kind of like a energy of like a funeral, not literally sometimes, but about like putting something to rest, like finally ending a chapter of your life that has been very draining, and like now like the kind of sense of like getting back to normal energy level wise, or feeling like you've beat a situation up mentally so much that you're like, that's it, I'm done, I have to let this go, I'm over it, it's time to just let it be done, like I'm gonna bury it and move on, right? Four of Swords can also be talking about just the need to also just let your body reacclimate and kind of calm your nerves, because if you, no matter what you want to try to accomplish right now, it's like you're not going to be able to do it with such energy levels. You don't have enough reserves to kind of get things moving and shaking. Followed by the Nine of Cups. So I love this combination. I feel like I get this combination probably once every couple months, where I realize that I'm like, oh my God, I have too many things I want to do. I'm burnt out, and I have this goal in mind. And of course, you know, until I actually take time to rest and create that downtime for inspiration, or for the universe to intervene to make it possible for me to do something, I got to take a chill pill. Like I got to relax, or I got to Focus more on my goals and where I'm going rather than what's not moving. So don't get caught up in the third dimension in a sense of being like, well, I'm not seeing any forward motion. Things aren't happening for me. Maybe you need more rest. Maybe you need more dream time. Maybe you need more creative time. Maybe you need something that's very unstructured. Maybe you need to chill out and just like go on a binge day of just watching TV and reset. Not that that's healthy, but if it gets you out of your routine and it allows the body to rest and relax so that way you can allow yourself to receive, that's what this is talking about. So there's something going on about trusting in the process, trusting in your goals, trusting in your wishes, and knowing that in doing that, it's going to relax the body and open the channels of abundance and open the channels of good luck. This is getting what you want. For some of you guys, it's just like, I need a break, right? I'm wiped, I need a break. And so then, you have a day where clients cancel. Not great, but it's going to give you that rest. Or, I need a new bed, and somebody calls you and says, hey, I'm moving. I don't want to move, my furniture out of my house. I'll give you my new mattress for free. Do you want it? These kinds of things. So be mindful of your, what you're manifesting, because you can be manifesting things, but, unless you're really in a state of like calmness and like being clear about what you want, you're not allowing certain energies to flow and bring good luck into your life. Okay. And if you picked pile number 3, we have the King of Pentacles, Big Earth Daddy. So it can be talking about you if you're an Earth sign, if you're a Virgo or a Capricorn, or you are a Taurus. If you're not, it can be talking about one of these people coming into your life. If that's not the case, then it's talking about mastering energies revolving around health, wellness, abundance, professional stuff. Like some of you guys are like, I'm going to master this. Like, this is what I'm doing. It's not just manifesting, it's producing, it's earth. So it's making the money, launching the business, being productive, seeing those changes, really kind of showing up and being the boss in your own life regarding some of these situations. So it can be literal in regards to finances or work, but on the flip side, it can also be a situation where it's about making health changes and really showing up physically for yourself in a very physical way, and demonstrating a new sense of maturity revolving around what you do with money, what you do with resources, eating better, physically taking better care of yourself, and just having a sense of knowing your worth. That's very important when you're dealing with the King of Pentacles, because he's not going to let people lowball him, right? He's not going to overwork to the point where he gets sick. He's not going to bend and break where other pages or maybe knights may. He's going to go, fuck you, pay me. If this is what you want, because I'm a professional, this is what you need to give me. So something about the King of Pentacles is talking about this inner strength that's going on with you right now. And like almost like this awareness that as soon as there are shifts happening revolving around your self-worth, it's like things show up, things manifest, things happen. But a lot of it is because of your physical willing to move things. And earth is heavy, it gets sluggish, right? So also it's like not allowing yourself to get down by the winter blues, staying warm, hot spices, hot liquids, staying active, being creative, anything revolving around just like nourishing your body and getting things moving, right? Making cookies right now, but vegetables tomorrow. And this is reinforced by the Knight of Swords. This tells me that you're getting ready to launch something, or there's going to be like a new business drop, a new marketing campaign. Maybe you're getting financial news. Maybe you're signing a deal, launching a business, taking on a partner. Knight of Swords is a card that comes up that's about quick information showing up very, very swiftly. So it's like, it can be you getting a letter in the mail about paying a bill, but at the same time, it can also about you being like, that's it, I'm taking charge of my finances, I'm hiring an accountant, right? So it could be that. But there's a lot changing revolving around the way that you communicate self-worth, communicating and talking about abundance, focusing more on taking action when it comes to business. There can be a lot of business themes coming up in your life right now. Somebody can offer you a job. Somebody can give you the green light on a raise. There can be a sense of just more people seeking your services or seeking what you have to offer too, because there's something of value there. So one thing I would say is that this screams to me like Mercury and Capricorn, right? Which we don't have yet. We do not have that yet. Mercury has not entered Capricorn yet. Mercury's in Sag right now. So, big stories, big ideas. Mercury's coming into square with Neptune, so we'll see what sticks. I think that for some of you guys, especially if you have a lot of Earth placements, there's going to be a lot of things changing right around the end of December, probably when Mercury in Capricorn conjuncts Venus. Keep in mind there will be a retrograde period. So those of you guys who are entrepreneurs or anything like that, my advice is like at least wait until the Venus and the Mercury retrograde are over, so you've reworked everything and you have a sense of strategy. So there can be launches that are actually happening for you in the beginning of February of 2022. Definitely a really great time to just be working behind the scenes on things before you're ready to really kind of show the world what you've got. I don't know, those of you guys who are watching, if you're aware of your charts, but if you have a lot of placements in Capricorn, something I keep telling everybody is Capricorn is like a diamond, right? It's Saturn. It takes a lot of time before it can fully mature and be very valuable. So if you've got a lot of planets in Capricorn, maybe you're in Capricorn, you know, Sun, Moon, or Rising, maybe you've got a stellium there, or any personal planets there, join me in the process of taking December, January, and most all of February. 90 days is what it's looking like to really perfect something, and then be able to kind of unveil it at the end of February, beginning of March. That will be very valuable because there's lots of really amazing kind of wealth building transits coming with Mars and Venus in Capricorn, and Venus coming in conjunction direct with Pluto, that something very valuable may emerge in March if you put a lot of hard work into it. And value doesn't necessarily mean money, right? Value can mean an awesome idea that makes you feel valuable, or something that ultimately ends up being wildly successful or wanted, you know, down the road. But it's not always about money. Capricorn is more about status, right? Thank you, SR. I just saw that. No worries. If it helps them in New Moon Aries, Stellium, Cancer rising. Hopefully that's helpful for you guys, for those of you who did the pick a card reading and get a little insight from the cosmos. I'll answer this one last question and then I am off to enjoying my Saturday night. I'm excited for that. It has been a busy day. I kind of screwed up, and I never work on new moons or full moons, especially eclipses, and somebody forgot to block all of them out. That would be me. So it's been a very long day. Okay, so SR said, hi. I just want to ask about my own biz. I feel a blockage. I got the one card and it resonated saying, don't work overtime, just take action. Okay, would like more insight, please. So you said that you're a you're a Cancer rising and you have an Aries stellium. So that's a whole lot of cardinal and angular houses. You never slow down. Let's see how this really connects to you. Definitely a lot of energy with your 4th house ruler, Libra, 4th house, Venus going retrograde in your 7th. So it's a lot about how you relate to other people, how other people may be weighing you down, where relationship dynamics need to change, especially if there's been issues in relationships that's bringing up a lot of emotions, that's blocking you from feeling in charge of your life or professional goals. So that's something else that I would say to be aware of. So let's see what you need to know. Cancer risings, all the cardinal placements, but Cancer risings, I would say, Cap risings, I don't know, you guys are getting hit pretty hard with this retrograde. Okay, so the cards that you get, it's interesting because when I think about what's going on with your chart, you know, Venus moving into your 7th, it's about relating with other people, and I'm wondering if there's any insight or anything where you have felt particularly blocked or discouraged in regards to relationships, right? If that's been a theme. If you're a Cancer rising, you know, the Libra season was really a test for you emotionally, and in terms of what you're willing to let go of, where you want to live, how you want to feel, how family feels, all that stuff. And I think it's interesting that what you're getting is the 3 of Cups in the World card. So I'm wondering if this is like a cycle of you needing to clear people out that aren't bringing you joy, who aren't celebrating with you. if there's like a situation where there's somebody who you're on and off with, or if there's a couple people you've been taking up with, or if there's a third party that's interfering here, that third party can literally be the Venus and all the planets in your 7th house squaring all of your Aries, where you're like, I'm so distracted with other people, I don't feel like I have any control of the direction of where I'm going. So you're exhausted, right? That's why you got that 4 of Swords. But with the 3 of Cups in the World card, it's about celebrating the fact that certain situations are coming to an end and things are completing in a positive manner. Think about this as like a graduation, right? Especially if you're a Cancer rising. Having all these planets, you know, conjunct Pluto, which in your chart rules your 5th house of the heart, there is some huge shift happening for you where, you know, you are becoming acutely aware of what is in your past and what's moving forward in your future, and you're celebrating this growth, and coming together with other people is really important. Personal relationship wise, I'm sure we will part ways next year officially. This has been about 3 years in the making, so I'm good with that. All right. Well, what I would tell you is that to me, I get the impression that it's going to involve other people who help you with that transition, right? So if you have felt like emotionally exhausted from relationships in recent years and you feel like you just want your freedom, right? Aries in the 10th house. Jupiter's going to go into your 10th house soon too. So it can be an interesting couple of months of like having a shift in your belief system, maybe traveling a little bit, expanding into your business stuff, and feeling hyper-focused and in control of you. You're going to feel so good when Jupiter goes into Aries. But this is telling me that there may be another party that enters in to help you wrap this up, especially with Venus going retrograde conjunct Pluto. Can other people from the past come back? Can you be tempted by other people? Can there be this feeling of this realization that maybe the other people aren't romantic at all? Maybe it's your friends and people who are a part of your Uranus aspects in your 11th house that's dealing with friends coming in and saving you from situations and saying, let's celebrate you, let's keep things moving, don't get stuck in those old relationship patterns, we're going to complete this. So 3 of Cups in the World card is really positive. It's basically saying that there's a lot to celebrate in completions and new people coming into your life. The Ace of Wands reversed is insinuating that there is a feeling of blocked energy. And it can be low energy, being lethargic, not feeling like things are moving forward, but not feeling creatively fulfilled, not feeling sexually fulfilled, not feeling like there's that spark or that zest of life right now, and missing that, maybe not necessarily getting that in a romantic or a physical relationship, and it being something that's very private or kind of personal or internal. So this Ace of Wands is almost like, it's like the match that you're trying to strike to start the fire, but the match head has snapped. You know, if you go to like strike a match and it just splits, you're like, how do I start this fire? Like now there's no way for me to do this. It's kind of how the Ace of Wands comes about, where it's like, unless you have all of the means and the tools and the want and the passion to be able to start that fire, it's just not going to happen. So you're feeling a little creatively blocked. And I really feel like community is so important for you right now, and like learning to fill your own cup outside of relationships, romantic relationships, and networking and coming together with other people who are going to be like-minded that can help create this incentive of helping push you forward, and celebrating relationships that can be platonic. They don't have to be romantic, right? That's definitely another theme that I kind of see happening for you here. Definitely lower energy levels. You may be feeling like, I don't feel like socializing. I don't feel like going out. I don't have the energy right now. And that definitely can also be, you know, Venus going retrograde in your 7th, very sluggish. So this feeling of not wanting to go out and do things with a relationship or anything revolving that. I feel like a lot of it is going to be coming back to you, and it's gonna get a lot better once you get to the end of February going into March. This is insinuating when we start seeing action in the fire signs, and I don't think it's Sagittarius season. Maybe we see lots of clearings happen in the 6th house for a Cancer rising, so this eclipse can spark that. Maybe Mars going in there at the end of the month, the beginning of January, will bring that energy back, and you're feeling a little bit willing to make changes. But watch for those super conjunctions between Venus, Pluto, and Mars that's coming in your 7th house, likely end of February going into March. That's that cut that's going to happen. So you almost want to focus on being supported and having other people around you, so when you go through that transition of finally phasing out of that relationship, you have support and you have community, and you don't feel like it's so catastrophic and devastating. Because even if you're okay with the natural separation, this is kind of indicating that you still need people to fall back on. So that way, maybe you're not falling back into old relationship patterns, or you're feeling like supported by others, and feeling like you can kind of flip that Ace of Wands right side up and feel open to intimacy, connection, partying, having fun, being creative, going places. And I think you're really going to wake up more when planets are getting into Aries for you in this next year. So wishing you all the best with some of that transition and some of those changes. I hope it goes well for you. Change is not easy, but sounds like you're kind of aware that some of these energies are coming. So let me know how it goes. Thank you guys for joining me. I love being here on Saturday nights, hanging out with you all. Stay tuned. I'm going to have a video coming out for the weekly astro weather. If you guys haven't already seen that, I did all of my December address. It's already live on my channel. Did a video on the eclipse. If you haven't seen that, it's there as well. We're still in the eclipse energy for really the better part of the next couple days. The moon's still in Sag, so we're still feeling it. And the astrology gets wilder the more that we get into December. So on my list this week is going to be the obviously the weekly address, but I want to talk to you guys about the Venus retrograde. I want to talk to you guys also about Mercury shadow. These are things that we're going to start dealing with, and we're going to have a full moon that's going to be coming here in Gemini later this month, and a ton of Venus Pluto aspects and conjunctions with this Venus retrograde. So my oh my, it's going to be a wild ride at the end of this year, a very colorful Christmas. If you'd like to book a reading with me, check out my links below. Check out my website, beyondtheveiledtarot.com. Get on my books, get on my calendar. I offer 1 question, 3 questions via email if you need something more quickly. Otherwise, sessions with me are live on Zoom. They're recorded half-hour or full hour. Synastry, Saturn return, solar return, progress charts, transits. I do it all. Usually look at a lot of that during my 1-hour sessions, but if you have any particular questions, comments, shoot me a message, leave me a comment below, and I will be back to see you guys very shortly in just a couple of days. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and it's a good one, and this eclipse is just positive for everybody. So until next time, I'll see all of you guys very soon. Take care.